This is episode 88. And you know what that means? We're only 12 episodes away from our 100th, which is crazy. We're also 3 weeks away from my 1 year podiversary, which I cannot wait to celebrate. I really can't put into words what this podcast really means to me and what all of you listeners mean to me. The show has really grown and I have such big goals for this year. So I have a huge, but really little favor to ask of you. If you haven't rated or left a review for the show yet, I would be so blessed if you would take a minute and hit those 5 stars. And if you have that extra minute, if you could write a review of what you've liked best about the show and the reason you keep coming back to listen, your ratings and reviews are what help this show grow. If this show has helped you in any way, I know that it will help your other mom friends too. So if you want to take it a step further, you could share your favorite episode with your mom friend. I also wanted to remind you that our closet clean out challenge is going on this month in our Facebook community. All you have to do is post a pic of your closet or that bag of stuff that you're getting out of the house, and then you're automatically entered into winning a free time management coaching session with me. It's a win-win. Our Facebook community is called Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Just search it up on Facebook, or there's a direct link in our show notes as well. Clutter comes in many forms, many shapes, and unfortunately, many sizes. We've talked about decluttering your house, we've talked about decluttering your paperwork, but today we're talking about a different kind of decluttering your schedule. I've come to the realization that I might be addicted to productivity. I say might, I am. There is just so much I want to do, and unfortunately, so much I have to do, that I'm always looking for ways to make the most efficient use of my time. So when it comes to my schedule, I've learned to be very intentional with how I spend my time, and especially this year, what I'm committing to, where I'm focusing my energy, and making sure what I am committing to aligns with my values and supports the goals I have for me and my family this year. And part of that process is decluttering and organizing my schedule, which is one of the things I teach you in my coaching program. I walk you through how to audit your time, how to audit your schedule, understanding what your real values are, and how to align your time to what really matters to you. That is where true work-life balance comes from. Balance comes from the inner work, your mindset, and being intentional with your time and setting boundaries. If you want to learn more about my coaching program, check out my website. The link is in the show notes, or book a free discovery call with me. There is no better time to get your life in order. Summer is coming, and you want to free up your schedule so that you can make the most of your summer and the special time. Take it from a mom with older kids. This time goes way too fast, and you only have so many summers left with your kids. It makes you sad when you really think about it. So book that call today and join my Facebook community and our Clean Out Your Closet challenge, and you can win a free session. So get to work. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work, and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Kerri, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Today, we are talking about one of the biggest things you can do as working moms to create balance in your life. You only have so many hours in the day. You only have so many hours in the week. So you really need to be intentional about how you're spending that time. I know for me, it's been a struggle the past 2 months. I'm so blessed to be able to work from home. And that used to mean that I can run an errand here or there during the day, but work has gotten so demanding that I'm really stuck on my computer all day and on calls all day. And those errands that I used to bang out on my way to or from picking up Ashley from school now get pushed to either work or the weekends. And more, they're getting pushed to the weekends because I've had to work later than normal most nights. It's really thrown my work-life balance off completely and made organizing my calendar even more important. Time management is exactly what it says it is. You are managing your time. And in order to do that, you need to plan your days, plan your weeks, plan your months. I'm always looking 2 to 3 months out on my calendar, especially now with the end of the school year right around the corner and summer upon us. It's always around this time of year that I wish I made the switch to become a teacher just to have summers off. 2 months to just relax, catch up with life, spend that time with my kids, go to the beach, go on adventures. I'm totally daydreaming right now. And if you're a teacher, you totally deserve that time. So enjoy it to the fullest. But unfortunately, most of us do have to work in the summer. So it's important to really manage your time and your calendar to create that space now so that you have more time to do all the fun things and work on those goals too. So today, I'm teaching you how to declutter your schedule so you have that extra time and space to really do the things that light you up. The first thing you're going to do is assess your current commitments. This is like a high-level time audit. You're going to start by taking inventory of all your current commitments, including work obligations, family responsibilities, social engagements, personal activities, kids' activities, any committees or clubs that you're a part of. It's like a big brain dump of all the things that require your time. If you're not sure of everything you committed to, hopefully you put them on your calendar so you have somewhere to go back to for a quick reference. Next, you're going to identify the time each of those commitments will take. So now you're going to go through each one and really identify the time you committed to for each of those things. Some things may just be the time commitment of attending that one event or activities, but other may have a larger time commitment. Some examples from my life. I'm a Girl Scout troop leader, and I'm working with Kaylee to get her Silver Award, which involves 50 hours of service towards a project. So it's writing down what goes along with that. So the meetings, the coordination, and supporting her through that process. I'm also on an executive committee for an organization called Donate 8, and we raise money for Live On New York, which provides funds for organ donations for families and research and training for healthcare professionals. We have a huge fundraiser in June that brings in over $1 million, and I'm responsible for coordinating all the volunteers for that event. So it's not just the day of the event, it's the coordination that goes along with it and leading up to it. I'm also class parent and co-chair of the 5th grade committee. So it's setting up meetings, setting up events, coordinating volunteers. It's a lot of time commitments on top of the day-to-day stuff in the next few months. I like to number my steps and my tips for those that are actually taking notes, which I know most of you can't do because you're either listening to this podcast in the car, while you work out, while you walk your dog or make dinner. But if you happen to be sitting with a notebook and a pen, this is number 3. Identify your priorities. This goes back to the goal planning we did this year and where you wanted to see yourself, where you wanted to be at the end of this year. This also goes back to your values and what is important to you. I want you to go through each one and ask yourself these questions. Does this align with my values? Is this helping me achieve my goals for the year? And lastly, does this support the life I am trying to create? These questions will really help you identify the things you may be able to weed out of your calendar, especially all the extra stuff. Number 4, start decluttering. Go through that list and start identifying the things that you can just start weeding out. It may be hard because everything on that list might check one of your boxes, your values, or help with your goals. One of the things I had to give up, and it was a really hard decision to make, was I was doing an internship under a very successful digital course creator because I'm in the process of creating my own time management course. And I knew I could learn a lot from her, but with everything on my plate, the only time I can get work done for her ended up being in the evenings, and that was cutting into my family time. So while the internship was absolutely helping me with my business goals, it was impeding on my other goals and values of spending more time with my family, which also is my non-negotiable. So another great question you can ask yourself as you are going through this list is, by saying yes to this, what am I saying no to? So by saying yes to the internship, I was saying no to my family time, which is why I had to give it up. Number 5, use a digital calendar. I use both a paper planner and a digital calendar, but to stay sane and really keep your schedule organized and your family on the same page, you have to use a digital calendar and share it with at least your partner. We use a combo of our iPhone calendar and our Google calendar. I have both of them synced. I'm not saying you have to do this or even recommending it. I like to look at the Google calendar better. It just looks nicer to me, and I use it for both personal and my business. I keep my work calendar synced to my iPhone calendar because I want it on my phone to reference, but I don't want it on my Google calendar. You can change the views of what calendars you see, but I need that hard boundary of not accidentally clicking on the calendar and seeing work stuff on the weekend. So basically, my iPhone calendar has everything in it, and my Google calendar has everything but work. Number 6, color code your calendar. I'm big on color coding. I've shared before that my kids each have a color, and that is consistent across both my paper calendar and my digital calendar. So I definitely recommend each kid having a separate color. And then you can have different colors for events, personal appointments, and those self care activities, because make sure you're getting them in there. This visual organization can really help you quickly identify the different types of events and prioritizing where you need to. I do this at work too. I'm in the process of changing my color system at work, but I have one color for one on one meetings, one color for larger corporate meetings that have a huge audience that I don't need to be on camera or say anything for. I have a color for time that I block out to focus, which is when I go to work on all my tactical stuff on my to-do list. And I have another color for meetings that require me to have something prepared for. This really helps when you're planning out your week. A lot of meetings you just have to show up for, but if you have a color for those meetings, you know you need to prepare something ahead of time. It really lets you know and gives you that visual that, hey, I need to get something done before this meeting, and then at least block some time to prepare for it. Number 7, block out time for priorities. Schedule dedicated blocks of time for your top priorities. This is so important for work life balance. You're blocking out the time in your schedule every week for the things that are your non negotiables, the things that really matter to you. So, things like family time, self care, meal planning and prepping, date night, maybe a project that you're working on that you need to finish, like decluttering. For me, my priorities are my morning routine, bringing my kids to school, scheduling at least one thing with my family, my weekly planning time, which includes meal planning. I've built in walking breaks so I can hit those 10,000 steps and close my Apple rings every day. I'm so proud to say I'm on a 21-day streak of closing my rings, but that is because I'm being intentional with the time and my days and making these things my priorities, my non negotiables. And I guard this time. I have boundaries around these things so that one, I'm showing up for them. And two, when I show up, I'm intentional and present in the moment and totally free from distractions. Number 8, limit overcommitment. Overcommitment can really just creep up on you. So be mindful of the amount of commitments you're taking on to avoid overloading your schedule. And really understand what the true commitment is when you do say yes. This has bitten me in the butt a few times in the past couple of months. I also thought I would have a lot more bandwidth than I really have. I've been working late probably every night for the past 2 months, and I've had very limited time for personal stuff during the day. And family time is a non negotiable, so it's been tough to keep up with everything. I've started to look at things that I've said yes to try to reflect on what I could have done differently. The charity work for Donate 8, it's been a bit of a struggle with work. It's not a lot of work, but it's just a little time consuming. But this organization is so very near and dear to my heart. When I started dating Russ 22 years ago, his dad found out that he needed a liver transplant. And because of his angel organ donor, he was given 10 more years with us, was able to see us get married and make some amazing memories with both Ashley and Kaylee. He passed away when I was pregnant with Michael, and Michael is actually named after him. Gosh, it's been 11 years and I still get choked up when I think about it. But my point is, while this event isn't helping me achieve my goal this year, it is something I do in honor of my father in law and all the donors out there that have given families more time with their loved ones too. What I could have done differently is step down as the volunteer lead and let someone else take over, but still volunteered at the event so that I was just committing to that one evening and not the work leading up to it. And then there's the 5th grade committee. Did I need to lead the committee? No, that I definitely did not need to do, but it's not something I can give up at this point because I made that commitment. It's also our last year in elementary school, and I wanted to make sure Michael had a great end of year experience. And being a class parent allows me to be with him in his classroom, and spending that extra time with him definitely aligns with my values and my goals for this year. What I could have done differently was just been a volunteer on the committee and not raised my hand to lead it. I'd still be involved, still working towards my goals and aligning with my values, but the time commitment would have been a lot less. So before you raise your hand or commit, you have to ask yourself if there's a way that maybe you can support on a lesser level. Is there a way I can support without committing so much time to it? Number 9, build in buffer time. This is important. Buffer in time before appointments and tasks to account for travel time, unexpected delays, technology issues, and just things taking longer than expected. These buffer times allow you to be a lot more flexible and can really reduce stress and anxiety during the day. And they'll definitely help prevent you from overscheduling yourself. So when you are putting something on your calendar, don't just put the time it starts. Block out time before or after if you need to. But big caveat, make sure your partner is aligned and aware so that if you need him to say, drive your kid to a birthday party, they know the actual time that the party starts and don't assume that the start time on your digital calendar is the start time of the party because they might end up showing up way too early. We use the notes section for the invite for all that detail. So I might block the time for a half hour before the party because that gives a half hour to actually get to the party. And then the party will start at 3, he'll leave at 2:30, and we'll just use the note section to communicate that the party starts at 3. Number 10, set boundaries and stick to them. All this work isn't much good if you are not setting boundaries around that time, especially your non-negotiables. When I am in my non-negotiable time block, I am in those time blocks. I am present. I'm not looking at my phone unless it's my walking time and I'm putting on a podcast. But you are more productive and you'll have a better outcome in anything you do if you're focused while doing it. And that includes nurturing relationships. If you're not present when you're with your family, if you're looking at your phone, texting someone back, it's sending a message that whatever is on your phone is more important than what you're doing right now or who you are with right now. And I'm guilty of mindlessly grabbing that phone sometimes too. So one of our boundaries that we really try hard to stick with is no phones at the table when we're eating. This is both at home or if we go out to a restaurant. Number 11, review and adjust regularly. Make sure you're reviewing your calendar and schedule to ensure that it aligns with your current priorities and your goals. Make adjustments as needed to accommodate any changes in your circumstances, and especially in your priorities because things happen and things do change. It's all about maintenance. And if you're taking the time to really be intentional about what you're saying yes to, there will be less of a need as time goes on to make any adjustments to your calendar. Number 12, delegate and outsource tasks or just ask for help. Identify tasks that can be delegated to others or outsourced to free up more time in your schedule. The house cleaning, mowing the lawn. Those are easy, time-consuming tasks that can be outsourced. Carpooling for your kids' activities, that's a huge one. There's no reason you should be driving to and from if there's another parent in your area that has a kid in the same activity. They will probably be really happy for the help and getting some free time back in their schedule too. And number 13, practice self-care. Prioritize self-care activities and make time for rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation. Schedule regular breaks, exercise, hobbies, and other activities that really nourish your body, your mind, and your soul. Self-care, it's so important. I can't tell you what a difference getting back out and walking has been for me. I'm not only seeing and feeling the difference in my clothes, it's such a great way to de-stress and just take a much needed break throughout my day. Self-care is what helps you maintain that balance and your overall wellness. So make it a priority. I hope that you take the time to do this whole exercise. Consider it self-care. You are freeing up your schedule to take that mental load off and give yourself the space and time to really enjoy those non-negotiables. If you have a tip that you'd like to share, head on over to our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell us all about it. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes, and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it in your Instagram stories and tag me and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out with us in our Facebook community. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Career Life with Kerri Pat.